Hello friends, welcome to another video from my series Quick Thought Zone, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. If you didn't notice it, season 3 of Star Trek Discovery started a couple of weeks ago, and this video is going to be about my opinions about the third episode called People of Earth. The third season so far has been kind of hard to talk about. I know what to say about episodes which I love, and I know what to say about episodes which I hate, but what shall I say about episodes like this one? We start with something which almost looks like it was taken from a Star Trek show. Michael Burnham makes a personal log. Okay, good. But they screw it up very soon. We see her having a chat with Book while we hear her log, and then suddenly her communicator beeps and she stops the recording. Which makes no sense. This would make sense only if she was recording it while she was talking with Book, which she clearly wasn't. So now we are told that the dilithium didn't go boom, as the technical genius Book explained to us. Now we find out that it went inert and all ships which were flying with warp suddenly exploded, and that destroyed the Federation. There are so many things wrong with this, I don't know where to start. So what happened to the dilithium? Did it explode or go inert? Because there is a significant difference. Why did the ships explode after the dilithium went inert? Do the writers know or care how the warp engines actually work? Or is this just a huge middle finger for those of us who care about things like canon or things making sense? Also, why did only some dilithium crystals go inert or boom? Because as we have seen in the previous episodes, and we'll see in the next one, some crystals are working perfectly fine. Also, how did the explosion of some of the starships cause the fall of the Federation? Do the writers know the difference between Starfleet and the Federation? Because I can imagine that losing the starships would be a huge problem for the Starfleet, but why should it be a problem for the Federation? If some NATO fighter jets explode, why should it have any influence on the European Union? But whatever, for the next 20 minutes nothing happens. Oh, when I said nothing, I don't mean literally nothing, because things do happen, of course. Things like people standing in a hallway and talking, or people walking in a hallway and talking, or people standing in an office and talking, or people walking in the office and talking. When I tried to watch this for the first time, this is when something weird happened. I remember the first few minutes, and then suddenly there was the closing credits, so I assume I fell asleep. When I tried to watch it for the second time, I have almost fallen asleep. It's so boring. People talking about the plot. What is this? The Star Wars prequels? Do the writers know the basic rule of visual storytelling? Show, don't tell. I'll skip most of the crappy boring scenes. The only important things which happen are that Michael is reunited with the crew, and their reactions are absolutely inappropriate. Why the hell are they behaving like they haven't seen her for years? You have been with her a few hours ago. People, what's wrong with you? She's the one who was there living for a year alone. She is the one who has a reason to be emotional, not you. Suddenly everybody tells Michael how different she is, even though the only differences are that she has a much better haircut and she smiles from time to time. Yes, smiling is a huge improvement compared to the previous two seasons, where she had two acting poses, plank of wood or epic whispering. Now she feels like a human. It almost feels like the producers have allowed Sonequa to put a little bit of herself into Michael, which is a good thing. So everybody said that they went to the future with no way how to return back. So why exactly did you go to the future? Honestly, their reasoning makes no sense, which means that the whole season 3 makes no sense. So apparently Michael has received an audio recording with a message from Admiral Senatal, Senatal. Why does his name sound like something you disinfect your hands with? He says that he asks every Starfleet officer to come to Earth, so wait. Starfleet exists but the Federation doesn't, and the destruction of the starships has damaged the Federation and not Starfleet. I hate to repeat myself, but do they know what Starfleet is and what the Federation is? So they sport jump to Earth because screw continuity. Do you remember the huge plotline in season 2 in which they promised not to use the sport drive because it was destroying the people from the magical mushroom kingdom? Who would remember that? It was a year ago, and either the writers have the memory of a goldfish or they think it about the viewers. All 25 of them. So they come to Earth, but oh no, what a twist. Earth is now isolationist, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was under rule of an evil white man with orange hair. And I don't want to be mean, I really don't want to. I'm not the most handsome person on the planet, so on contrary, I have been told that I look like a cross between a serial rapist and a serial killer. That was the weirdest date I ever had, but why is everybody so ugly? And it's not like the producers are hiring ugly actors, but they are intentionally trying to make them look as ugly as possible. Seriously, what's with the two women we meet in the next scene? One is an angry black woman who looks like an angry 10-year-old boy, and one is an angry 16-year-old white woman who looks like an angry 10-year-old boy. If they at least had interesting personalities, but of course not. Do the writers and producers of the new Star Trek shows hate women? Because after 3 or 4 different shows we still haven't met a nice woman, and this time I'm not talking about physical appearance. Every female character in these shows is awful. That includes the animated ones. And why? Whatever happened to men and women being nice to each other? Why is every single woman on these shows so bitchy? Do they think that bitchy equals strong? Because I'm sorry to break it to you, but no, these are two different things. The Air Defense Forces beam on board and start an inspection, and a 16-year-old kid is bitching the whole time there. So after 30 minutes, the plot starts. We meet raiders led by a black helmet guy called Wen. They want all of Discovery's dilithium, so what does Michael do? I mean, she used to disobey orders and do whatever she wants, but now she's completely different, so we have heard it, at least during last 30 minutes over and over again. So because she is so different, now she doesn't disobey orders and do whatever she wants, but instead she disobeys orders and does whatever she wants. She and Book fly the discount Millennium Falcon out of the Discovery, pretending that they betrayed their ship and want to trade the dilithium, but of course it's a trap, and they arrest the black helmet guy and bring him to the bridge of the Discovery. So in the standard Scooby-Doo tradition, they put his mask off and it's an old white guy. Seriously, should I know who it is? Because it showed like we are supposed to know who the guy is. So yes, the Earthlings are now evil hoarders of the dilithium, so the raiders are stealing it from them. Why is there some dilithium which didn't go boom or inert? Are you sure you thought this storyline through? But because our crew are the heroes, now the Air Defense Forces are willing to negotiate. Why? Because it's mean to be mean? Or it's bad to have things which other people want? Or something? I'm not going to even pretend I know or care. So normally the show should end here, but the annoying bitchy white girl joins the crew because of course she does. See, Senatal, who was a Trill and he died. Why do our heroes know who the Trill are? I mean, humans didn't meet the Trill before the 24th century. Speaking about messing up the canon, Book also drinks synthehol, which is a substance which was also created during the 24th century. Do you remember how the jumping to the future should prevent them from messing up the timeline ever again? But back to Senatal, the annoying bitchy girl is human, but she is Senatal. See, she has the Tal symbiont, even though she's a human. Have they ever seen Star Trek? humans can't get a symbiont for a long time, or it will kill both of them. I mean, it almost killed Riker, it was only a temporal solution, so why does she now have the ability to be joined with the symbiont? And why is she joining the crew? No time for thinking, we have to show that Tilly is a tree hacker. No, she literally hacks a tree, and that's the end. So, what did I like about this episode? I like Soniqua Martin Green's new hair. She looks great with long hair. Also, she really starts to behave more like Soniqua from the bonus materials, which is a great plus because the real Soniqua is a charming person, unlike Michael Burnham. So, I like the hair. What else? I like that Stamets said that it's impossible that all dilithium would explode or whatever it did. But come on, pointing out logical problems in your show does not make the problems go away. You're basically saying to us, yeah, we know, it doesn't make sense, just switch off your brain and go check your email until the next action scene happens. And yes, that's it. All I like about this episode is a new wig and one line of dialogue. Everything else either sucks or it's just meh. This, I think, is the worst episode so far this year. On my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is absolute garbage, 10 is a masterpiece and 5 is just average, I would give this episode 1 out of 10. I recommend watching it if you have trouble falling asleep, but as always, these were just my opinions. Let me know what did you think about this episode. Did you love it, hate it, or do you agree with my boring assessment? Let me know what did you think about this episode, and for me it's time to watch episode 4. I'm not looking forward to it. Great work. It took me just 3 episodes from getting from the hey, I wonder what will they come up this year and in what creative way will they use the cool new gimmick state into an I would rather go to the dentist than watch the next episode state. Good job.